Now, back at the major, obviously you were saying that you were just getting started. Since then, it hasn't really been working out so well. Can you talk me through kind of the issues that you guys have been facing and why you haven't been up to par with kind of the first half of the season, essentially?
Yeah, I think the main problem we had is going to be that we haven't been able to play enough. I don't think before this tournament, I don't think anybody was over 60 to 70 hours from practice or from individual. So I think the lack of playing hurt us a little bit, and the lack of be able to find new stuff. Right, it's been our strengths from the start of the year that we always have new stuff to coming into every tournament. I think we've been relying a lot on the same playbook and the same tactics all the time, and of course people are going to have counters for it. So.
What about in terms of kind of an individual performance? Obviously, you came off with an MVP at the major. Since then, it's been a bit of a drop off. What do you think that's down to?
I think it was the same for me. I think what I found out recently that what works for me is that if I play a lot, and during the major I had like 120, 130 hours, and I just kept grinding all the time, and I haven't been able to reach those hours at all lately. And also, it was a lot before the majors. Maybe you feel a little bit of a burnout, but we had some nice rest days after Lisbon, and so we got some time to just relax a little bit.
Now, how is the confidence like after Roobet? Placing second there, obviously, I'm sure you were aiming for the title, but then again, it was kind of a warm-up tournament to this. What is the feeling like after, you got that second place?
Yeah, of course, it always sucks losing when you get to the final and you lose, right? We lost a very well playing big. I think they played really good, and Sturson had a fantastic tournament overall. I think I've never been as wrecked by an op as I have during that final. I think I looked at the stats. I think it was 27 kills for him and 9 for me. And versus any other of the players, I was up in head-to-head, but with him, he demolished me. And when I'm going in as enter and he kills me every time, it's very hard to get going in the runs, right? I can't get any space for my team. But the feeling afterwards was still fine. We played a tournament as a practice tournament in a way. We played every game as a practice to figure out new stuff, and we're happy with the result overall.
Now, Karrigan, I think it was at Lisbon where he was saying that if you guys at least don't reach the final here, you probably will see it as a disappointment. Is that kind of the vibe still? Heading into this tournament, that it really needs to be a really good result.
No, we talked a little bit about it because we did a press conference there before the tournament, and a lot of people asked him, "What do you mean by this?" Right? And he said, and this is how he feels as well. Is as long as we play our A game and we lose, let's say we'll go to semis, quarters, whatever, we lose to a super well playing Navi or ENCE or Cloud9, and it's a real close game, then it's not going to be disappointed with it. But if we go there and we just get wrecked, then of course it's a bad ending to the season after Lisbon and Dallas, right? So, but for now we're just doing one game at a time, and we'll see how it goes.
Now, you guys have dropped, I think since Dallas, you guys have dropped some pretty big leads. One of them against Cloud9, a couple against Big at the Roobet Cup. Here, even against 0-0 Nation, it took you quite a while to close out that ancient game. Is that something you see as a worry, or why do you think you haven't been able to close out some of these games?
No, I'm not really worried. In the beginning of the year as well, sometimes we dropped some leads, but we always close it out. I think right now it's just been our individual form that hasn't been good enough to have those clutch moments that we need, and it's in a way that this team relies on, right? We have all these 3 young star players in our team, and if things aren't working out as planned and we aren't clutching the rounds where we want to clutch, then it can be hard to win the game sometimes.
Now, Spirit up next, kind of a rematch, I guess, from the major semi-final. Different lineup, of course, for them. What's your expectations?
I watched them play the versus Liquid yesterday. I think their young players are really talented, and I think Chopper is actually a really good game leader, and I think he leads the team very well. And I remember I watched their voice comes from the major, and he seems like a very strong leader, and I think they're a really good team overall. It's going to be a hard match.